Now, at the start of last season, just about everybody had the Flames winning the division or maybe coming in second. Some of them, notably Craig Button, who has owned this, had them going all the way to the Cup.
Tell us what we were coming out of.
What do you mean?
We were coming out of the summer of Brad.
Oh, that's right.
You remember that?
Tree living, tree loving, and tree laughing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody was so hyped about what Brad did over the summer.
And Pierre Dorian was just in a corner like, I did stuff too.
And then he's like, we're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we're a team. Now, some had them winning the Cup. The season was derailed by three major things. We got injuries, we got ineffectual coaching, and we got terrible goaltending. And here's if there's a fourth thing, like a 3A, did I mention that they lost 17 games in overtime and missed the playoffs by a couple of points? So a couple of those games go a different direction. The Flames at least would have been in the first round, and maybe Sutter would still be the coach. LOL. So what does that mean for the season? We just had the Michael Backlund, as of this recording, extension signed. He's the captain.
Good vibes.
That's a good vibe thing. Craig Conroy feels like a good vibe guy. Seems like a really fun guy, but he does have a lot of extensions that will hinge on the Flames' success, which brings us to Ryan Huska. This is the major point of contention last year, was the coaching. What's Ryan Huska got to do this year with this roster, which is pretty close to the same, to see success?
He's got to be able to motivate. There's tacticians and there's motivators. And I know Daryl Sutter's not a motivator.
Do you?
Yeah.
You sure?
He's not the rah guy. Like
add a D in front of that. Demotivator.
Like, yeah, no, the Calgary
Put some
Flames
D's on that center?
played. It's rare that a team so openly is joyless.
And they were.
And they were genuinely joyless.
Openly.
They played below their skill level. So Huska, I think, in some ways actually has a job. I don't want to say easy, but it's not going to be that hard to just be like, hey, isn't playing in the National Hockey League fun?
Right.
Isn't that fun? Hey, Nazem. Hey, Jonathan, I think is going to be his most important project. Getting a guy who scored 120 points?
100, I think it was 111. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
73 assists. And then
getting him above 60? Oh, what a Herculean task. They can do it.
The Flames are right now listed at 94.5. Would you take the over or the under, Jesse and Steve?
94.5 points this season?
They had 93 last year.
Oh, my God. Under. Under, yeah.
You're not a fan.
No.
Tell me about it.
It's if we're getting into that, Steve, what's your answer first?
I'll say over.
I'm saying over.
You're saying over?
Not by much.
One, it's a tough division. Like we're running down the division. We're doing all of our previews and everything. And the division's stacked. Like there's so many good teams here. And it's a matter of, I think, is what we saw the players last year who they are. Is that who they're going to be in the future? And I'm not convinced that Markstrom is a great goaltender anymore. Like I need to see evidence here that Kadri and Huberdeau and Lindholm work as a trio, that they can run a top six here and they can be a good forward group, and that Markstrom can actually come back as a good goalie. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't see it at all last year, and I just need evidence. So I don't believe in them at this point.
They need a goalie whisperer. Like so many of the goals he allowed were like unforced errors, bad moments, like when you really, really could not afford them.
Well, if you're a goaltender, what should you do?
Tend the goal.
Especially if you're who?
Jacob Markstrom.
Who is bad at what?
Playing the puck.
Yeah.
Like you are not Martin Brodeur. You're not Marty Turco. You're not Martin. You're not Martin.
Anything. Not even Martin Jones.
Markstrom. You're not. Yeah, Martin Jones is probably better at playing the puck.
Right.
Than Jake Markstrom. Like, listen, when he's in his net, he's a Vezina nominee. He's got to stop. And to the point about the over under and how good of a division it is, I'm looking at my ranks right now, and I honestly might change where I have the Flames by the end of this video.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because they are quite talented. The roster is loaded with a lot of talent. They got strong defense. The other thing that they really need to address is something that Daryl Sutter supposedly said a lot to upper management last year, which is he was lacking a finisher. After Gaudreau and Tkachuk left, there weren't the same goal scorers on the roster. There's a lot of guys who are playmaking. But I thought you guys would find this interesting because I texted Julian this morning, Julian McKenzie of The Athletic, to ask him about what the coaches are going to do differently. And he said Mark Savard is a big key. He's the new assistant coach on offense.
Yep.
He was in charge of the leading OHL team in goals the last 2 seasons. He wants his guys to be creative in the offensive zone while also knowing where everyone is at all times, basically finding openings. And he doesn't like his guys to hang on to the puck very long. What do we know about the Flames forwards?
They're really good at moving the puck.
Good setup men, right?
Yes. Well, Mark Savard could score, but having a guy who was a career playmaker like Mark Savard play with, or coach rather, a guy like Jonathan Huberdeau.
Even Kadri is, I think, underrated in terms of a playmaker.
He's just he's a good all-around forward.
Right.
And like, they have a lack of finishers. I'm like, Kadri? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
Lindholm scored 40.
Yeah, like I don't know if he's ever going to score 95, 100 again or whatever it was in Colorado. But I mean, he's capable of basically everyone on that roster is capable of more than what they did. I know Huska is in there to improve the vibes. It is going to hurt having these clouds hanging over the team, these contracts that are either going to get traded or simply expire. But locking up Backlund is huge. Mm-hmm. They handled the Toffoli thing. They didn't do the greatest in that deal, but like they got a player who's Sharon Goj is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's top line on the Flames good, but like that's an adequate player. I think they're going to be a lot more fun to watch this year if you're a Flames fan. They were plenty of fun to watch if you hate the Flames.
I think they'll definitely be a lot more fun just because of the vibes. But in terms of putting up points and having that finishing touch, they lost their leading goal scorer from last year.
They did.
Tyler Toffoli put up 34 goals and led the team in points and goals, and now he's no longer on the team, and you're expecting Sharon Govich to pick up that. You're expecting the rest of the team to step up from where they were last year and pick up that slack that Tyler Toffoli's leaving, but I don't expect that out of this team, and they're being backstopped by a goalie who had an .892 save percentage in 56
Agreed.
games.
And a strong defense in front of him, right?
Yeah,
That was
totally.
he's must be better. And I'm also curious about Dustin Wolf and what he is able to do at the NHL level, because this is his season to come in. And if he has a good year and Markstrom fails again, there's an opportunity there to be an NHL starter by mid-season.
Dude, he could be a sneaky Calder candidate.
Might be a good fantasy pickup.
He might be. He's going to play.
Yeah.
He's going to play plenty of games. There are two notable...
with him playing games before you move off of that. Sure. They did sign Vladar. Like they still have Vladar, and they have 2 goalies right
Yeah, they're trying to move him though.
They haven't yet though.
You're right.
They've stocked the goalie room, so there's not that opportunity.
Greg
for
Conroy has really been moving at a snail's pace. Like there are some things where it's clear he's like, no, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take, but like, dude, this is a move you kind of need to make.
Look at the screen there. The defensive core after this season does not include at this point Hanifin, Tanev, Zadorov, Osterley, or Dennis Gilbert. We're not sure about Oliver Shillington, but if he does come back and play, he is also an unrestricted free agent after the end of this year. So that is going to be fascinating too.
Two very notable absences from the lineup that Jesse had up from Daily Faceoff. Oliver Shillington it's a big loss for the Flames whenever he's not in the lineup, and Jakob Peltier. It looks like he's going to be out indefinitely with a preseason injury. So there's roster spots up for grabs. If you're the Calgary Flames or one of their fans, like expect the unexpected. You never know. There might be a surprise guy that kind of comes out of nowhere.
I have a guy. Well, he's not coming out of nowhere, but he's one of the guys that Sutter refused to play last year, and he's having a great camp, and that's Matt Coronado.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this guy. I think he's got 4 goals already, and I know it's preseason, and I know he likely doesn't even start the year with the team. But if you're going to moneyball this, if Toffoli, he might with the injuries, but if Toffoli's gone, can you get close to Toffoli production from Peltier, assuming he's not gone forever, Sharon Govich, and Matt Coronado combined?
I mean, so
I know, you
much.
got
It's a big ask.
You can't. It is a big ask, but I'm just quite. Can you get 25, 30 goals from those three players? And if you can, I feel like
I think you can.
they might be okay.
Wait, each?
Well, no.
Oh, okay. I was like, no.
Combined.
Yeah, combined, I think you can do it. But we're doing that Leaf thing where we're looking at the rest of the lineup and going, can we get this? Can we get that?
What is it? What really matters?
Jonathan Huberdeau makes $10.5 million. He's gotta be
The guy.
in and around, like, Jesus, is top 20 in the league too much to ask for scoring?
It can't be. Not when you're making that kind of money.
The bar's got to be at least 90 points.
They were 19th in goals for last year, 20th in goals against. Kind of feels obvious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that they missed the playoffs by like a point, even with those stats, to me, that's why I'm going to hammer the over on these guys. I think that this team is going to make the playoffs this year. Do I think they're going to be dominant? Yes, in stretches. But I think most of the time they're going to be a pretty good team that makes a pretty good run in the playoffs, maybe second round.
I'm struggling so hard. Like, I have my rankings in front of me. Do I have to make my choice right now?
Make your choice now.
Yeah.
I have them listed 5th. I'm going to bump them to 3rd.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm going to bump them to 3rd.
Okay. I can see why.
I don't know if this is going to make Flames fans feel better or insulted. This is a regular season bet we're making here. Mm-hmm. So I think they can be the 3rd best team in the division in the regular season. I don't think they're the 3rd best team in the division.
Jesse, what do you have the Flames at in the division this year?
Those defensemen you listed, all those UFAs, they probably look good at a trade deadline, to sell off this team. Because I have them finishing.
It wouldn't be the worst if they were bad.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the worst. I have them finishing 6th in the division. I'm a lot higher on the other teams than you guys.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I have the Flames in 5th.
I like them too, though.
I have the Flames in 5th, and I'm struggling a little bit between them and the Kraken because of the Kraken's goaltending situation, which we'll get to. But I think the Flames are a good team. I think they're a wild card team. I think they're getting in. And do they have the opportunity to crack the top 3? Sure. I just don't see how they do it ahead of LA, Vegas, and Edmonton. So we'll see what happens. 94.5 is the over-under. I don't know. What would you take?